Coverage you can count on this morning starts now.
Coming up on News 13 this morning, a shutdown is averted in Washington, but another crisis could be right around the corner. Why Republicans want to get rid of Speaker McCarthy. Next.
Then lawmakers in North Carolina are looking at a new bill to regulate the hemp industry.
Plus, bikers are back on the Grand Strand for Bike Week. We're checking out the rally and more. All ahead on News 13 this morning.
Now your Storm Tracker 13 forecast first, sponsored by George Sink Injury Lawyers.
Good Monday morning. Looking pretty good out there to start your day today, as we do have clear skies. We have comfortable temperatures, and we're going to have a lot of sunshine for the day. Kind of a repeat of what we had yesterday out overlooking the Myrtle Beach Boardwalk. You see that light breeze that we have going on out there, and temperatures mid-50s for King Street, Conway, Scranton, 62 still for Florence, 58 to 59 for the Boardwalk, and 59 to 64 for the Grand Strand. The warm spot, of course, is Myrtle Beach, and most of us roughly about the same. Actually, most of us a couple degrees cooler than what we had this time yesterday, and there is your flow out of the north. Out of the bus stop, 59 to 62 at 7 a.m., 77 by lunch. And when the kids get out of school later this afternoon, lots of sunshine, low to mid-80s.
Honestly, James, not a bad day at all. I mean, we're already into the month of October. We're slowly into the season of fall, but it's still kind of feeling a little bit like summer.
Yeah, exactly. And it will, at least for the next couple of days. We'll cool off a little bit the second half of the week, but cool off a lot as we go throughout the weekend. Really feeling like fall on Sunday.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks, James. Well, first this morning, a 2-year-old was airlifted to a hospital after being run over by a car. The Georgetown County Sheriff's Office says the driver drove off after hitting the child. Deputies say it happened just before 7 last night on Harmony Hills Drive. The driver was caught in the Harmony Hills neighborhood and identified as Florentino Cruz. Count on us for further updates. And thanks so much for joining us. I'm Melissa Myers.
And I'm Taylor Maresca. In Washington, President Biden blasted House GOP members a day after Congress scrambled to pass a last-minute short-term bill to prevent a government shutdown.
As CBS News' Jared Hill reports, the bipartisan vote has put House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in the crosshairs of a key critic from his own party.
Stop playing games.
President Biden had some tough words for House Republicans after Congress passed a spending bill late Saturday, narrowly avoiding a federal government shutdown.
The brinkmanship has to end.
The short-term bill will keep the government funded until November 17th. It includes $16 billion for disaster relief, but aid for Ukraine was dropped from the final legislation.
We cannot, under any circumstance, allow American support for Ukraine to be interrupted.
With the shutdown crisis over for now, conservative Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is leading the charge to oust House Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
I do intend to file a motion to vacate against Speaker McCarthy this week.
Gaetz blasted the speaker for working across the aisle to pass the stopgap funding measure. But McCarthy says it's Gaetz who's trying to work with House Democrats in his efforts to remove McCarthy from leadership.
Bring it on, let's get over with it, and let's start governing.
With Republicans holding a narrow majority in the House, Gaetz would need some Democrats to vote in order to remove McCarthy. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The president stressed there's not much time before U.S. funding for Ukraine runs out. Ahead of this weekend's vote, Speaker McCarthy indicated there could be support for Ukraine funding if a spending deal also includes border security measures.
And 2 representatives from eastern North Carolina are responding to the federal bill on Capitol Hill. Congressman Don Davis says in part, quote, "I voted in favor of a short-term continuing resolution. While the continuing resolution is imperfect, it keeps our promises to the hardworking people of eastern North Carolina by ensuring the uninterrupted operations of vital services," end quote.
And Congressman Greg Murphy voted no on the resolution. He says in part, quote, "It has been my purposeful intent to keep our government open and functioning. This proposal simply contains too much spending for me to support," end quote. Moving now to our morning crime tracker. One person was sent to the hospital after a car crashed into a post office in North Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach Fire and Police Department say they responded to a post office at 67th Avenue North on Friday. In the video on your screen here, you can see the tire marks on the sidewalk leading up to the building. It's not clear what caused the driver to go through it.
The family of a Robinson teen who died last week started a GoFundMe page. Edgar Gonzalez, a 7th grade student at St. Paul's Middle School, was shot and killed on Tuesday in the Red Springs area. The family has started a GoFundMe page to help cover funeral arrangements. The funeral happened over the weekend and a graveside service was held yesterday.
Well, new this morning out of North Carolina, a suspect in Fayetteville police custody shot himself with handcuffs on. Officers say they detained a man while responding to a shots fired call early this morning. During their search of him, officers found a gun. They also discovered he's a convicted felon.
With his hands cuffed behind his back, police say he grabbed a gun in his pocket and shot himself. Officers began life-saving measures and he was taken to a hospital. No word on his condition this morning, but he is stable. The officers are on administrative duty.
News 13 on-time traffic, sponsored by Joy Law Firm. Just call Joy.
Traffic flow is still looking good. Conway through Carolina Forest and up and down the Grand Strand. You don't have anything out there to slow you down. No accidents, no fog, no rain, clear skies, and a 5-minute commute on 501 from 544 to Carolina Forest. For the PD and for the Border Belt, you're looking good there as well. Up and on I-95, no slowdowns. And in and around Florence, not looking bad there either. 6 minutes on 52 from Palmetto to I-95.
Well, it's time to start your engines. The 24th annual Fall Myrtle Beach Bike Rally is back. Bike lovers and enthusiasts from all over fill the streets of Myrtle's Inlet. This event spans more than 50 miles along the Grand Strand coast.
The rally was off to a great start over the weekend, with thousands of people traveling to Myrtle Beach just to take part in the 10-day-long Bike Fest. Virginia resident Shane Sinclair made his way down here for the big event.
Yeah, we rode from Virginia. It was about 5.5 hours. We always come down for Bike Week. Anything to do with Harleys, I love to do it. So.
The Fall Myrtle Beach Bike Rally is going on now until October 8th. Coming up, a former Kamala Harris advisor is named to take over the late California senator's seat on Capitol Hill. Who it is and more on her next.